god damn, it's an hour long. It's 50 minutes. This is going to be 3 hours when you edit it. This is genuinely going to be 3 hours when you edit it. So let's see what Mukluk had to say. And tell me if the video is too quiet and I can bump it up.
Weird about reacting to videos because I want to get like the permission of the people doing it, unless they're just being like,
you don't ever need my permission. Never. As long as you are not taking my shit and just fully like re-uploading it, I will never ever in my life ever even bother to copy strike someone. Like that's I don't care about that.
I stand by that.
If you want to react to anything, react to anything. I give everyone anywhere my full permission always. Right.
Fun fact about that. In the YouTube backend, I get like little pop-ups every now and then that someone's like, hey, someone's used your content. And they're like expecting me to go through the copyright system and learn that. I don't even know how copy striking people works. And I'm never going to bother to go out of my way to figure out how those systems work. Unless someone actually just rips the whole video and re-uploads it. Then I will do something about it. But if someone is reacting to anything, they can react to goddamn anything. And I will not do a goddamn thing about it.
Just do it. Just fucking do it.
like a total hater, in which case I feel like the door is open. And I was like, I don't know this guy. I haven't talked to him. I've never had any back and forth with him. I don't know if I want to. Not Josh. He's just.
Yeah, I've never had any back and forth with this guy.
I don't know why he left this part in.
I just use clips from their stuff. So it's all fair game to me.
It's the first frame of the video. And someone was like, oh, but this guy's reacted to your videos.
This is getting out of hand. look at this fucking chain of shit. Look, this is the YouTube React meta right here. It's gonna fucking get worse. Okay, you're saying it's a bit quiet. Okay, let me bump it up for you.
Well, you heard him. So this is a new video.
Let me know if
from
that's
Roze.
better.
Well, new to me. I haven't seen it yet. And it's called Why Does Everyone Hate the Guild Wars?
I love how he says new to me, because my upload schedule is whenever the fuck I can get a video out, and that's like once a month.
2 leveling experience 1 through 80 part 1. I haven't seen it yet. After Roze found out I watched his last video, he recommended to me that I watch this one. I hadn't.
Did I recommend it to him? I don't remember if I recommended it to him or not. I haven't had a personal DM with him, but I think I might have said it the last time I was reacting to him reacting to me and building this disgusting chain of YouTube behind it. So that might be the case.
Gotten around to it yet, but then he posted a third video today that has me in it looking horrified, and it says incite fear in local streamers. So
wait, so he's not reacting to this one, he's reacting to the one before this one. And yeah, I put him in here because he was panicking. This poor man was panicking so much. His fucking editor had to cut out so many pieces of the goddamn content that I put up, because he's trying to be very PG, and he's trying to not get in trouble. Also, what's up, Filter? How you doing? And so this poor man's editor has to blur 90% of my video.
So I want to watch the second one before I watch the new one that I'm apparently guest starring in. But yeah, this is our second time watching a video from Roze, and it's called Why Does Everyone Hate the Guild Wars 2 Leveling Experience 1 through 80 Part 1. And it has been recommended to me by many other people, and also by Roze himself. Oh my god.
He blurred that whole part out for the first time he did this. I'm shocked that he didn't the second time round.
Dude, right off the bat. Okay, so in the first...
Also, Faxius89, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it.
Video, we had to censor a lot, all right? There was... there was multiple moments we had to completely cut out of it.
Yeah.
And I know that this is a scene that was in the first one that Noxie had to censor before I could have it on my channel. We'll see if we have to do that again.
Do you want to know
Oh,
what
thank
one of
God,
the
you
biggest
didn't show it.
problems is with trying out an MMORPG like Guild Wars 2 is for the first time? It's much...
Listen to how fucking bad my audio is. I spent hours hours trying to get rid of background noise and EQing shit, only to find out that because I didn't press one button, just one button, none of that mattered. Absolutely none of it mattered, and none of it worked. If you ever really get into Guild Wars, I'd be very excited to see what you think of the rest of the mounts. If you like the Raptor as much as you do. One of the mounts is actually, Prubo, the mounts are actually one of the primary reasons I want to continue to play Guild Wars 2, is because the game doesn't have any negative pressures that's telling me I have to play this game tomorrow. I have to do this. Because of its horizontal progression, I can take my sweet fucking time with it, and I really, really like that about Guild Wars 2.
Much like the difference between taking a vacation to somewhere completely new and actually having to live there. Without even meaning to, you'll find yourself noticing all the good, new, and interesting things that you
That's Michigan on the left.
just don't have back
That's Michigan. That's France. That's France.
home. But it's the subtle, minor changes in your new environment that
That's France. That's France. That's also France during the riots.
you never pick up on until you've really spent some time there. And in this case, it's the leveling experience. Something I've been told to skip, boost, or ignore my way. It's the leveling experience. Something I've been told to skip.
Tutorial, player story, leveling, expansions. No, dude, I actually have a whole...
Yes, dude. This is exactly what I was told by most Guild Wars 2 players. They were like, the game starts when you get into the expansions, not even when you get to endgame. Go to the expansions, go to Heart of Thorns, go to Path of Fire, go to anything else except the actual initial game. That's what I was told over and over again.
whole video called to boost or not to boost, and I constantly tell people, like, don't. And the TLDR of the video is, unlike many other MMOs that I've played, this is not one that starts at max level. Like in WoW, you kind of rush to max level, it feels like. You can then play with everybody else. In this game, like, because of the levels are squished together in the open world, you know, you can have a level 8 and a level 80 fighting side by side against a world boss. Like, the low level doesn't have to rush to max level.
Yeah, but that's one small segment of the game. The actual leveling experience that was planned out by the devs, where you go and you play the story and you go through the entire game.
Oh, look, another bald white man talking about MMOs. Brilliant.
There you go. That's what we need, is another white guy talking about MMOs. That's how this world works, right? You see this hair loss? You see this missing hair? This is what you get when you play World of Warcraft. This is how this works. The base story is alright at best, but the way they tell the story is much more intuitive in the expansions. That's exactly what I've been told over and over again, Prubo. Is Muck bald? No, but that's because he didn't play WoW. He played Guild Wars 2. That's why his hair's stuck around.
And even then, it takes like a week of casual playtime to get max level. It's not a slow process at all. They just throw the levels at you. So I'm constantly telling people, don't boost. Like, all it's going to do is give you like 50 abilities all at once, and you're going to be overwhelmed, and you're not going to know what to do with yourself.
Boost.
Okay, I will say that he's right about that. If you boost the character in Guild Wars 2 and you get to the end game, you're gonna see all these fucking confusing systems. You actually are better off going through the leveling experience, even though it is mediocre, than just jumping to end game, purely because you need to understand what the fuck you're doing in the game. And if you get to end game and you understand nothing, you're screwed.
Or ignore my way through completely all the way to level 80, which means I am now forced to look at it, because I'm God's drunkest driver, and no amount of dashcam footage is going to save you filthy sinners from what comes next. But mostly because the true test of how good any MMORPG truly is not by its best features, but by its most forgettable ones. This is my choice.
Wait.
I think I made a spelling error somewhere in there.
Wait, no, you better believe we're gonna pause.
Not by its best features, but by its most forgettable ones.
Yeah, fuck, there it is. Use Shadowlands. Video ruined. I made a spelling error.
That face when you Shadowlands made you more of a... Oh, that face when Dad would rather be disenchanted than be your dad. That face when your brain lost its space robot. You'll never be as good.
That's Zoval, for anyone who doesn't understand. When you go to the afterlife, Like, Anduin's brain is literally sandwiched by Zoval's cock and balls because he becomes the space robot's little bitch. And it was such a weird story. It was so bad. Comparatively to WoW, Guild Wars 2 story, base game, as bad as it is better than retail WoW currently because it's so confusing for a new player.
It is Arthas. Oh my god.
This is my journey to turn a humble salad from that harmless part of a balanced diet that you keep.
Wait. What? Hold on.
To turn a humble salad from that.
This chart is now completely unreadable now that he's removed all the words I put in there. The only thing that people know is that vegetables, yummy corn syrup, and crystal meth is part of a gamer's diet.
That harmless part of a balanced diet that you keep ignoring.
Yes, I saw what some of the other things on the food pyramid said. No, I'm not rewinding this time.
Oh, come on.
Into a gun-wielding, crack-addled war criminal. So
he's doing engineer salad.
welcome to the ultimate review of the Guild Wars 2 leveling experience.
The ultimate review.
He saw it. He saw it. He saw the titties. Anduin is just going through a phase. Give him a chance to grow. Anduin has been going through a phase since he was made as a character. There's no fixing him. The best thing that could happen to the WoW story is that Anduin dies and we never have to see him again.
Booba emote with Air Stagalken. I mean, okay, he's got a type.
Listen, as a short man, as a midget who lives in this world, every tall woman, like my wife, is a mountain worth climbing.
But first, we've got some housekeeping to do. Hey, where all my 6 nipples at?
Oh my god.
I'm so surprised he kept this part. I thought he would just cut this whole part out.
Noxley, please him there. Thank you.
You're looking at a future legend over here. Yeah, I'm all the way at level 32, and when my player logs back in, it's all the way to the big time.
I wonder if for this video, he went out. Roze, let me know when you react to this. Did you go out and buy the cat ear headphones specifically for the Guild Wars videos, or did you already have those on hand? Let me know.
Yeah, that was, those are my wife's, right? I kind of bought them for her as a joke, for her PC. I thought it would be funny. And she put them on. She was like, actually, these are really comfortable. These are actually really comfortable and they sit well on her head. So I didn't have to. Those belong to my wife.
No.
Straight to 80, straight to... No.
I would have done the meme of the guy doing this and then fading out of existence.
Yeah, too predictable.
Much better. No more fleas, no more alcoholism, no more...
Oh my god!
I know exactly what that image is that he blurred out. Oh, damn.
Other problems this game reveals about humanity that the devs can do nothing about. Now then, I've already been through...
Noxy, blur that just to be safe. Yeah, he actually mentioned that when he first played this game, because I watched his react to my react to his video, and he watched me, and he was like, yeah, it was crazy. Cause like, you know, Final Fantasy, the cat girls are very human-like, and I was like, oh, and then I saw the char, and he's like, oh, these things are hideous. These things are completely, you know, furry-proof. Like, no one's.
I genuinely thought, from the bottom of my heart, that no one would ever want to fuck a char. I was so wrong about that. Might just leave it in so Mukluk's editor has to deal with it. Yeah, let them deal with it. It's not your problem. Also, thanks for the follow, Seawolf.
Is gonna want this. And then he found out.
Character creation in my first impression, so let's just get this out the way. Not playing Char, because I've already done that. Asura are out purely on the basis that I possess too many chromosomes, not too few. And as...
What? It's Karl Marx! Come on!
Let's circle back to that.
Such
Come
cannot
on.
fully immerse myself in the role of playing one. Humans are a no-go because I don't want the zoomies who see this to call me default skin. And all the human villagers seem to be under continual attack by Centaur who keep kidnapping all the women. And I don't know about you, but I'm just not the biggest fan of people running off with my property like that. And I'm not gonna be
You see that panic? This man is running a PG-friendly stream, and I'm making jokes like that. This poor man, I'm gonna give him a fucking stroke.
choosing Norn because god damn. And so that leaves me with no choice but picking the race of overly aggressive vegans that I know next to nothing about. Surely.
One day, all of us MMO creators will converge onto a singular game, and it'll be glorious.
I hope so. I genuinely hope so. Also, what's up, Benji? How you doing? TCS was a mistake after what Soulman did to it. I might need to like put the lowest amount of bits on it. Because otherwise, Soulman's just gonna come in here and just start dunking on me all the time with the fucking TTS.
It's just taping grass.
This won't come to be a choice I end up regretting. And as for a class, well, from the moment I understood the weakness
Binaric screeching, yes!
of my foliage, it disgusted me. I craved the strength and certainty of steel. Because even if—
Oh, come on! Oh, come on, you didn't need to blur that out, come on! That was fine! That didn't need a blur.
Noxy, please blur that. You can leave the clip in, but make it blurry. Thank you.
turning myself into a pickle is objectively the funniest shit you've ever seen or heard of, I still need to be able to kill things to reach level 80. And so far, what real life has taught me is that there's no magic quite as powerful as pointing a gun at someone. And as for the rest of the—
In the business, we call that foreshadowing.
choices, ferocity because we're not a bitch, Green Knight because why not, Cycle of Night because I still don't know what the—
I have no idea what you're talking about, Filter. That was obviously not sexual. That was just a hydraulic system working with a rotational mechanism in it. If you take anything sexual out of that, that's not my fault. That's not on me. That's up to you to decide what part of that component you find sexual. That's not on me. That's just a physical object that exists within our reality.
a sleeping schedule is, and some philosophical line about
It said 3 a.m. gamer streams.
in public being okay as long as you
Bleep it.
explain yourself
Oh,
to
come
everyone.
on.
Blur it.
Oh, come on. He doesn't even have his dick out. Come on.
Else stuck in the elevator with you. And of course, a name. Now, why would I go and choose something so cringe, so basic? Because it turns out that the Guild Wars 2 devs don't seem to have much in the way of a sense of humor. And because deep down in my comments section, I've been informed that I'm no different than a 13-year-old with a beard. But putting aside their sexual preferences and my inability to stay on track, our journey begins. Now, unlike the chart tutorial zone, where their big starting conflict is a very real battle in gaslighting a bunch of ghosts into believing they're dead through the use of swords, the first thing I'm told is that these vegans are guided by their dreams. I'm shocked. And currently I've been sent on one such vision quest. In this current dream, our mushroom-induced hallucination guide lets me know I'm an avid new member of PETA, and I've just managed to break into the neighbor's backyard, leaving me with no choice but to rescue these poor, unattended dogs from
Fuck, my audio is so bad. My audio's like giving me a migraine. I really need to like adjust my audio for my videos.
the abuse of being alive and well taken care of. So far, this is turning out to be far less epic than the chart tutorial start.
And then it's gonna wake up.
Because right now we're just on a point-and-click adventure. And that's just about when the tutorial boss spawns in one of the most epic fashions I've ever seen. Now that's what I'm talking about. We've been facing nothing but chihuahuas up to this point, and now instead we get to fight Cupcake. Now this is a pretty decent fight for
Did he edit his name?
chihuahuas up to this point, and now instead we get to fight Cupcake.
There it is.
Take the oh my god.
Now this is a pretty decent fight for still
the
being a
panic in
part
this
of the
man.
tutorial. The boss has some basic mechanics for you to learn, one health bar, but multiple limbs for you to aim at.
Yeah, we saw it the first time.
Some of its abilities knock you back, and it also spawns in a few ads that you can just completely ignore. What would have been
I mean, it's a level 1 boss fight. Yeah, there's nothing complex here.
real
Yeah, okay, it's a level 1 boss fight. That's fine that it's not complex, but it is awesome, right? It does teach you mechanics and stuff, but I do wish there was some level of threat. I wish I saw at least 5 HP leave my bar, like my health bar. It is so... The problem with this tutorial is maybe it's just because I'm used to like games like Dark Souls, where the tutorial boss kicks the shit out of you. But the fight, as cool as it is, feels meaningless. It feels completely meaningless because there is no danger to you at all. And this tree dragon is supposed to be like one of the most dangerous things in the world, and you just beat the shit out of it with a handgun.
nice though is if the game let you know beforehand where the dodge button is, so that anyone coming from a game like World of Warcraft knows exactly what button to completely ignore pressing to avoid damage or to get out of the big red danger circles on the ground. But really, Cupcake here is no more dangerous than any of the other smaller dogs we've been putting down, because the boss does no damage and poses no real threat. Now, I'd probably rate the start as being more epic than the chart tutorial start, but also less well constructed. Overall, I've got to give this 10 out of 10 for
I like how he had a toy gun in hand to go with the leaves he taped to himself.
visuals and 0 out of 10 for challenge. And now is when the real game begins. But before we get there, I have to establish some ground rules so you know exactly what I'm here to do. See, I'm here to take one single character from level 1 all the way to level 80 as if I was a new MMO player, which means playing this game suboptimally, forcing myself to actually experience the world I'm in, experiencing the main story quest line, and not doing anything that the game doesn't suggest I do. So as good as they are, I'm not going to be using the mounts to blast my way through any of the zones. I'm not going to be using the wiki to solve every problem I have, because if it was really that important, they would have put it in the game, not on a website that I have to look up on a second monitor. Obviously, there's not going to be any power leveling or boosting either, and no skipping my way through any of the cutscenes or dialogue. The only caveat here that I'll give myself is that I will be using the success of my first impressions video to leech high quality bags off of players that are better than
Of course.
me, because
Fuck losing bag space. Fuck not having bag space. It feels so bad in this game to like have your bags filled with a bunch of shit you don't need. It's one of the biggest early game problems is you got a bunch of shit in your bags and none of it is valuable.
having my bags flooded with a bunch of junk I don't need. And because deep down I'm a lazy bastard and there's absolutely nothing you can do to stop me from taking advantage of a supportive MMO community. Most of all though, I will be heavily comparing Guild Wars 2 to World of Warcraft.
I mean, at least he's not dancing on a mailbox and asking for donations, right?
I did. I have to admit to something, I did. I have 2 Guild Wars 2 accounts. In order to double check all my research that I did for this video, I have a second Guild Wars 2 account that will never be public facing. And by the time I was leveling, I can't even remember, I was leveling a bunch of characters to 80 just to see what the difference was. I got tired at some point, and I made a female character, I stripped her naked, and I started dancing on mailboxes. Wherever there were groups of people, I got naked and I danced on mailboxes and like at any trading post I could until I got bags.
Since that's the MMO.
I was everyone's dirty little slut for a good 2 or 3 days on that character until they gave me bags.
RPG I spent 15 years of my life playing before Blizzard covered up all the titties in game in order to try and cover up all their workplace practices. And, you know, before Sylvanas went on her whole Yas Slay Boss Queen arc.
I will never serve.
Once the LSD
I don't even know that guy's name, but I remember when they like drastically changed the lore in WoW, I remember seeing a viral clip of him going absolutely bonkers about it.
overdose had worn off, I woke up to find myself living in the rainforest version of a ghetto. There's no such thing as a paved road as far as the eye can see. The subtle chirp of smoke detectors not having their battery.
It's beautiful.
trees change as far as the ears can hear, and not a single sign of any form of central planning outside of the menthol cigarette stands that keep popping up everywhere.
But hey, at least the rent is probably pretty low and everyone seems fairly used to the sound of random gunfire throughout the day. And as a bonus, I do
Yeah, it's just like living in the United States.
immediately
Yeah,
get
that's what I was aiming for.
handed a second unregistered weapon.
And not only that, but we're starting at level 4 instead of level 1 because what we did in the tutorial actually counted towards our XP bar.
So I do the first thing that sticks out to me and click on the nearest bowl of lettuce with an icon over its head. It turns out this is a scout and they're just here to tell me about the region I'm in. They forcibly open my map and break out the crayons and begin drawing circles all over it.
Now, I do have to give Guild Wars 2 credit here because it was completely unnecessary that they voice acted out that little chunk of text over there. But it does tell me that the devs are at least in touch with the community and are well aware that your average MMO player doesn't know how to read.
A decent lesson that's...
Well, it's true. It's true.
Yeah. It's because like 90% of the player base plays DPS. Dude, I cannot tell you how many times. Because like I'm someone who's been a tank player for most of my MMO time. Not because I wanted to be a tank, but because everybody I grouped with that was a tank was bad. And so I did.
My condolences. Being a tank sucks ass. Well, okay, it's good when you get to control the group. Being a tank is really, really awesome when you get to control the group and you get to be the one making the decisions. But to do that, you have to have more game knowledge than everyone else in most MMOs. You need to actually know what the fuck you're doing. Most people are shit-eating retards. That's why they play DPS most of the time. And when a DPS isn't a shit-eating retard, that's when he blows out the meters and is just way better than everyone else. So, and like, that's not 99% of all DPS players. When tourists confuse gunfire in the distance for fireworks, I think they're coping. I think they know it's gunfire and they're just trying to pretend it's fireworks so they can go to sleep. Or they can pretend it's not happening. Sucking ass means bad or good. I suppose that depends on what end of that agreement you're on.
Did it out of just like sheer spite for like 10 years. And I can't tell you how many times I'd be like, yo, you just died from such and such. And they're like, what is that? I'm like, the mechanic you got hit by. And they're like, I got hit by something? I'm like, you had a debuff for 10 seconds, then it went off and killed you. And they're like, I had a debuff? And I'm like, do you read the tool? Like, as a tank, if I get a debuff and I don't immediately recognize it, dude, I freaking read that thing as fast as I can. And it's just, yeah, it's
the same thing playing a healer in WoW. Or at least it used to be. During Wrath, I mained a Shaman healer, not because I wanted to, but because everyone else didn't want to do it, and they didn't want the responsibility of keeping everyone else alive. So, like, all the way through Ulduar, all the way through Ice Crown, all the way through every single raid in Wrath, I was like the main healer as a shaman, and I just fucking beat the brakes off of every other healer. I was shitting on everyone so hard because no one knew what the fuck was going on, and all the DPSs were borderline retarded, and like they should have been in a mental institution, because I don't know how those people don't like starve to death or just die of dehydration. Like I don't understand how they don't like they just forget how to breathe and fall over and die. I don't understand how that happens having raided in WoW, like at a really high level. It's super frustrating. And the only ones who could understand my pain were the tanks.
absolutely right. Because the average player is DPS, and the average DPS doesn't read tooltips.
Some other unnamed multi-dollar MMOs could learn a thing or two from.
Man, that's a lot of words. Oh my God, it goes on forever like this.
Now, being the new player that I am, I stumble across my first quest and choose to speak to the plant woman with more bush on her than America during 9/11.
Hey, what the fuck was that? Come on.
Speak to the plant.
That's in game.
Woman with more bush on her than
that doesn't. Oh, come on. Oh wait, no, that's because I put George Bush in a turban there. Okay, that
America
might be why.
During 9/11.
That might be why.
Noxy, do whatever you think is best there.
I'm hit with the same letdown that I had when playing my Char Mesmer. We've gone from dragon slaying to gardening. And sure, the environment and visuals are nice to look at, but it's a very weak transition going from something so epic to something so mundane that quickly.
Yeah, for anyone who has never played as Sylvari, their newbie zone, their tutorial thing, is in the dream. Oh, I just gave you a spoiler for the first 5 minutes.
Which is really, really dumb because it gives you very little reason to care about what you're doing. This is all a dream. You took some mushrooms. Okay, cool. When's this trip over? That's what you're asking yourself.
Yeah, that big epic dragon thing, like you fight that and then like you wake up. Now you keep the XP, like you said, you jump up in levels, but like it's a premonition of like down the line, something that you'll be fighting like much later when you're stronger in a higher level, stuff like that. Because their whole thing is like they're in a pod and they grow to adulthood in the dream state, and then when they hatch out into the world and they're ready to run around, they're already basically adult size.
The Guild Wars 2 here is breaking one of the cardinal rules of any good MMORPG. You're supposed to start off small, weak, and pathetic.
Is that
Tell me who that is. Tell me who that is right now. Without looking it up. Tell me who that is. I bet you don't recognize this human being. I bet he doesn't recognize it either. God damn it, you knew who it was. I'm so shocked.
Rules of any good MMORPG. You're supposed to start off small.
I'm pretty sure that's Asmongold's head on the body of someone with muscular dystrophy.
No, that's just Asmongold.
Weak and...
I think that might be Asmon again.
That's young Asmongold.
Pathetic.
Bet you don't recognize this face without makeup. That's Asmon a third time. I'm kidding. I have no idea who this is.
Before slowly building your way up to becoming an unstoppable god as you gain more levels. But here instead...
I'm sorry, he is. He is an unstoppable god. There is nothing that can stop Asmongold at this point. He is everywhere. He is everywhere. He's the top streamer of any MMO community. Everyone references him. And he deserves that success because he's put in the hours and the time and the effort. That's just how it is.
We've started with something big and then immediately moved on to something small. And even worse, by choosing a VeggieTales character, I feel like I've begun reading a story in the middle of a book instead of at the beginning.
And outside of the very first cutscene, we have no greater indication as to why we're here.
You have been fixing stuff since I joined.
Yes, I have.
He told us is that we have no free will and that we're here to be a tool to be used for the greater good of our nation.
Because the same way that something fresh off of a factory production line already has a given purpose, so do we. It's fairly obvious that what the Guild Wars 2 devs were going for.
I don't know what that was. It looked dirty. It felt dirty.
Come on, it was just a physical object that exists within our reality. Don't blur it. Come on, leave it in there. The next time you see something like that, leave it in there. Noxy, make your life easier. Test the YouTube systems. That's all I'm asking you to do.
Dirty. But I don't know what I saw there.
For here was the free crack rock strategy with a
Got away with that
strong
one.
initial high for the very first player experience of the game. But if you'll follow through to that...
Why so PG, man? I do a PG stream, Dexies. It's family friendly.
It's not fucking family friendly anymore. Not after this, otherwise people are going to be watching Minecraft. They're just going to be seeing 5 pixels every single time this man reacts to any of my videos.
That's why I have to bleep stuff.
high isn't a good continuation, especially in an MMO, which is a long-term game, then that leaves some people feeling more disappointed than they would be curious as to what's going to happen next. This is likely an issue that's unidentifiable to long-term players, but it might explain why there's this big division between players who try this game for a few hours, feel no need to
Look at all those minions in PvP. It does not look like that anymore.
ever pick up
Yeah, it looks worse because you go into PvP and get instantly deleted if you don't know what's going on.
it up again, and those who keep going forget about
Wait! Chip is in this video. Happy day. This video just got at least 10% better.
I think that's
this
his
moment
character.
and find something they truly love playing.
But now I'm just arguing semantics with you, so let's just focus on the gameplay and story instead.
The quest design here is pretty decent because it caters to multiple playstyle preferences. By comparison, in a game like WoW, you're expected to find the quest giver, listen to their life story,
Oh my god, it goes on forever like
locate those targets with a difference of opinion to you, and remove their souls from their bodies with a reasonable amount of force, before returning to said quest giver for a reward or follow-up quest that's going to ask you to do the exact same thing all over again to a brand new mob.
But in Guild Wars 2, talking to the quest giver is completely optional, and you're at least given more than one way to complete a quest. If you as an MMO player couldn't give less of a shit about all these little individual stories, you're not forced to interact with it.
It's true. So real quick, for anyone who has not played Guild Wars 2, if you're in the area of a heart marker, which is the quest icons, it'll just pop up at the top right corner. You don't have to talk to the NPC that has the heart. You just have to be like...
Which is really nice for anyone who's a DPS. It's super nice that you can just walk into an area and just start shooting shit and it just auto completes for you. Especially if you're a lazy bastard. It's actually super useful when you're leveling up and you've already been through the base game and you don't want to go through it again and you don't want to power level. It's actually a really good system if you just want to try and speed run to 80, but without using the crafting or the PvP or any of the tomes of knowledge, and you want to like explore the world at the same time. It's actually really nice that that happens.
Within the zip code. And then it'll be like let's say some guy on a farm. It'll be like, oh, like help me pick apples, or help me kill bandits nearby, or help me use this shovel on any churning earth you see on the ground to pull up these giant worm monsters and then kill them, or milk the cows. You know, there's like Stardew Valley options and there's genocide options. Like there's many ways you can solve quite a few of these quests.
Not many ways. Two. There are 2 ways you can solve these problems. And sure, it might be milk the cows, it might be go dance in front of that guy, but it all amounts to you press the interact key, or you go and shoot a bunch of shit. By the way, Chip is Muck's cat. Aha, okay. And he called one of his ranger pets like it, which is exactly what I did. Okay, that makes sense.
And anytime you do any of those things, the bar fills up, and when it's full, you're done.
All you have to do is be in the right zone for the quest to automatically activate.
Fill out the progress bar by...
Also, yes, I have to yap constantly, and now that you said that, I've got to spend a good 5 or 6 minutes just talking to you about...
by following the instructions you're given. And when you're done, you can right off to the next zone because the quest also auto-completes for you.
Yeah, you do not have to go back to the guy to get the reward either. So you technically never have to talk to him. But after you do the quest, the NPC that was associated with that quest becomes a merchant. So sometimes they sell you interesting things.
You do, however, care about the story. You can talk to the quest giver, get more information about the situation, and when you're done, that same quest giver also turns into a vendor that you can use to dump out all the junk filling up your bags, as well as buy things with a currency called karma points.
Now, the end goal of every hard quest is just about the same. You're trying to fill up that progress bar over there. But it is at least nice that the game gives you an option on how you intend to do so.
I wonder how itchy and annoying those leaves were. Like, I wonder if halfway through recording, he's like, God, I want to get this done as fast as possible so I can take these leaves off.
So
you have no idea. So I do something called cost play, right, for my videos, which means I spend as little money as I can, or I get everything secondhand, or I try and find a deal. Those leaves were from a free plastic plant that I then spray painted to get them the right colors. Spray paint is itchy as fuck when it's on your skin. Especially when it's only partially dried. My God, that hurt. It hurt so much. Like I had a rash down my chest and like on the side of my face for a good 3 days after that.
Where the system falls short, though, is in its lack of greater lore exposition. It's almost always small problems that you're solving for the locals that don't actually tell you anything about the world you're in. Also, how the game gives you your reward for completing a quest isn't that great, because it just feels somewhat detached from the gameplay experience itself. Guild Wars 2 here is breaking a second cardinal rule of a good MMO by expecting its players to have a functioning pair of eyes and not be completely retarded. Because do you see that little shiny pop-up in the bottom right-hand corner? Yeah, neither did I until 2 whole levels later.
But as my character continues to grow like an undiagnosed tumor, the quest reward pop-ups aren't the only notifications I get, as the game is nice enough to throw up a few windows whenever I hit a new level. This is a decent system for making sure that you're not as lost when leveling up as you would otherwise be.
At this stage, though, levels are coming fast, and I can already see several issues just over the horizon. The first is that at level 7, the game very quickly tries to get new players right into the pay-to-win shop.
And if you're a person who likes living in denial and doesn't know why this is a pay-to-win shop, well then congratulations. I made an entire video just for you a while back. But more significantly than that, and directly affecting gameplay, is that these hard quests...
Yeah, we talked about this. Like, I reacted to Rose's last video, and there was a section where he talked about that, and then when I watched his reaction to my reaction to his video, he clapped back about it.
I don't know if I clapped back about it so much as I just, like, explained my position.
Definitely partially agree and partially disagree. Like, one, you can, as a brand new player, come into this game, and if you slam down your wallet, if you had infinite money and you just slap that on the counter, you could get a legendary weapon. Now, your weapon just has stats just like your chess piece has stats, right? Like, so having one single legendary weapon and then crap everything else and not knowing how to play the game, you're still going to die immediately. It's not going to be...
Yeah, but you get a legendary weapon. You still get a legendary weapon.
Be a big power increase, which is the reason most of the player base don't care that that's an option. However, the legendary armor as well as ascended armor, which is the second best, are not tradable. So you could get third best equipment if you had infinite money and threw it on the store. So we don't really have many problems with like bots or anything like that. There are some from time to time, but in my experience, compared to like WoW or Black Desert Online, just far less in this game than those because of the systems in place in the game.
Okay. I need to explain this. I need to explain this so that this makes sense, right? Okay. This is how pay to win works, right? This is an explanation of pay to win, so you understand what the fuck is going on, right? This is how it works, right? Pay to win is a system where something is wrong color. Something is either not pay to win or something is pay to win. It's a yes, no. Something either is pay to win or it's not pay to win at all, right? Now, the degree to which something is pay to win, from like maybe 0 to 100 here, is a completely different argument. It's a completely different fucking argument than whether something is or isn't pay to win, right? So Guild Wars 2 is decidedly pay to win because you can exchange physical real-world value in order to save you time in the game, and the players who do not do this have to then spend excess time playing the game in order to make up for not swiping a credit card. It is, yes, absolutely pay to win. Now, the reason people don't really give that much of a shit about Guild Wars 2 being pay to win, or live in the land of copium and like to pretend that it's not pay to win, is because if Guild Wars 2 is pay to win, it's like a 1 out of 100, right? It doesn't get you the best gear. It doesn't get you all the things that give you all these massive advantages at endgame, which is where most people care about the game. It doesn't like give you all these gigantic advantages, but it does give you advantages. It does give you advantages over people who do not ever use the pay to win systems, which means it is pay to win, but it is so fucking mild that everyone on the high end doesn't give a shit or likes to pretend it's not. Right now, if you want to compare that to WoW, WoW is probably a 50 out of 100. It might be worse now. And a game like any Korean game, let's say Blue Protocol. Blue Protocol is something like 3,000 out of 100. This is why no one gives a shit about Guild Wars 2 having pay-to-win systems. Because it is pay-to-win, but it's not nearly as fucking egregious as it could be, which is genuinely actually a shock, considering that they're owned by NCSoft, who fucking love money, who love raping people's wallets. That is why it is pay to win, and why anyone who says it's not is pure 100% coping, but it also explains why no one cares about it being pay to win. because it's mild. It's very, very mild. Now, if you want to have an argument or a complaint about, well, they need to keep the servers online and they need to find a way to pay for things, that's fine. I get that. I understand that. You got to pay for a game. Live service games like MMOs are not cheap. They're not easy to run, and you've got to pay for server costs every single fucking month of your life. But if I'm going to play a game that's pay to win, I'd rather it be there than there. But understand, pay to win is a yes-no question. The sliding scale of degrees is completely different.
Aside from that, the gem store is mostly convenient stuff and cosmetic stuff. Now he is right. You know, yeah, if you go into the game, throw down a bunch of money, get more bag space, is your life a little bit better than someone who didn't? Yes, I have to give him that.
What the fuck is happening to my monitor?
Yeah, it is. It is. Is it less egregious than almost every other shop I've ever seen in gaming?
Yes.
Also, yes. And this is an MMO that does not have like a monthly fee or anything like that.
So we agree with each other, right? Don't conflate what is and isn't pay to win with what the pay to win scale itself. So I actually agree with Mukluk on this, right? This is the least egregious pay to win system I've seen in any game. That I can say open and honestly because it's pay to win, but it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. AAA games will finally be about quality and not about overblown budgets. No, they'll still be about dog shit, but every now and then we might get a good game again from them. Because a bunch of passionate people made a game and then sold their souls to a big company who then released their game. That's what's likely to happen.
Like that. So that's probably where they get most of their income, is people buying like cosmetics and things like that. So does it exist? Yes.
Yes.
Is it extremely quaint?
Yes.
Also yes. All right, that's it. Moving on.
May give you multiple ways to complete them, but it's always going to be falling.
Oh, also, there's the whole thing where you can convert in-game gold into gems. You can use money to buy gems or convert in-game
He can't help himself.
Gold into gems. So, like, for me, for the last 4 years, if there's ever anything I want on the gem shop, the cash shop, I could just buy it with in-game gold. Because I'm a max level character, I have lots of gold. I could just literally buy anything that they put.
Yes, that's because this is also your job, so you play this game all the time. Whereas your average normal player gets like maybe 2 hours, I don't know, 2 hours every 3 days to play Guild Wars 2, so they're not going to have that same pile of money that you do. You gotta like, you've always got to take like what you're doing from this highly specialized standpoint and then bring it back down. This is pissing Yogi off. You got to bring it back down to like, what is a normal player with a job and a life experiencing?
Like, if they add something to the in-game store, and I'm like, oh, wow, there's this new set of armor. I really like how this looks on my character. I could just convert gold to gems using this screen right here and use my gold and then buy whatever I want. So it's something that the seasoned veteran players usually just kind of shrug. They're like, yeah, it's there. It's not a big deal. But, okay.
Falling into one of two categories. You're usually going to be killing something or interacting with something. Ultimately, though, Guild Wars 2 has just mixed up the standard formula by giving you...
I want to see if he catches this. I want to see if he catches what I did in the top right corner.
2 ways to complete a quest instead of the usual 1. And as a new player, just when I'm about to resign, complete a quest instead of the usual 1. And
wait, hold on. What did the
standard formula by giving you 2 ways?
Sorry, it's a canon event. Kill Bambi's mom and dad, or harvest Bambi's tears after someone else murks him. I completely missed that until I backed it up twice.
I'm actually shocked he found that.
Complete a quest instead of the usual 1. And as a new...
How I sleep knowing I spread irreversible amounts of misinformation online.
Player, just when I'm about to resign myself to the idea of repetitively completing the same 2 tasks in order to reach level 80, that's when Guild Wars 2 does something different and throws me into a dynamic event. I've come across a fellow tree man by the name of Valiant Estian and his weird looking pet dog, and have been tasked with...
I don't know why that was so funny. I just remember.
This is what I mean when I say I don't understand other people's sense of humor, because that was a throwaway joke. I didn't think anyone would laugh at that. Also, thanks for the follow, was there. And Furion465.
Reminded me of StarCraft 1. It's like, looked like you ran over some poor feller's dog, Sarge. No, that's a Zerglin, Lester.
Was protecting them while they investigate a nearby cave. Suddenly, those hard quests seem even less appealing than they were before, as now I get to interact with quests that actually change the world around me. Now, this doesn't make the hard quests bad for existing. They're just the same bland industry standard that you'll see across all the other MMOs. The problem is, the game has now told me that I could be doing far more interesting things instead of these. An invincible necromancer who keeps skipping leg day pops up before us and puts down Estien's pet, and it's up to us to cease his shenanigans.
As the dynamic event ends, and before disappearing, the necromancer mentions a name to us. Something that might mean very little to us right now, but acts as a decent setup for future events.
That was a good usage of that clip.
Finally, we're getting some story.
Aside from that, not too much sticks out here while leveling. I have learned that the plant people are not only sentient, but
Plants farming plants to eat plants to get enough sustenance to farm plants to get enough sustenance to eat plants to get enough sustenance to farm.
but also cannibals, and have an
I should have made that all the way to the end until it was like falling off the page.
extreme prejudice against those who keep washing up on our shoreline without a passport.
After a short while of grinding out
Those were zombies, just to be clear.
some XP, I finally click on a floating map that gives me enough experience to hit level 10. And now's when things start getting interesting, since I've now unlocked the main story questline.
Overall, this really isn't a bad start for Guild Wars 2 to give a completely new player, but I just can't help but notice that it doesn't give a new player much incentive to want to hit level 10 in the first place.
It just feels like a bit of a missed opportunity that you have to wait all the way until level 10 to get hooked into the main story questline, instead of getting it handed to you at level 5 or 6, which gives you a more immediate reason to care about the game. Thankfully, though,
I can agree with that. I can completely agree with that. But basically the way the game works currently is, you know, at level 1 you got the tutorial, and at level 10, 20, 30, 40, every 10 levels you will get another pop-up for the main quest line. And you can leave it there and do it later if you want, or you can like do it right then, and then there'll be a whole bunch of stuff, and then you maybe get a level or two working on that, and then it's like come back when you get to the next 10th level. And then, you know, that's like, you know, the level 10 and 20 and 30 quests are related to the choices you made at character creation. The after that, they kind of start, like, the branching paths of all the different characters that you could start with start to come together. So from, like, I don't know, 30, 40, 50, 60, something like that, you choose like one of 3 factions to join, like everybody does. And then by level 80, all those paths have combined into the Zytan story, which is where everything comes together.
Okay, how to fix the Guild Wars story. The personal story should continue all the way to level 80. That should be like the primary focus of things, all the way to level 80, not stop at level 30 or 40. The story itself needs to be cut down with the amount of characters. Make more significant characters, but make less of them so that they're more memorable. And I like what he said there. Yes, you should be able to get the fucking story, the main MSQ, the second you're into the game, as opposed to having to wait every 10 levels, because that's fucking crazy. It was like, that was the most boring part of leveling, was having to run around doing hard quests, especially when I couldn't find a dynamic event, and just sitting there shooting shit, right? That should not be a problem. If they really wanted to speed run people through the game using the story, the MSQ itself should give people almost enough XP to go from level 1 to level 80. So they need to flesh it out, reduce the characters, and make those characters more significant and give you more of a reason to give a shit about them.
getting to level 10 is not difficult or time consuming, so if this is the moment in time that a new player stops caring and puts down this game, I would probably call it more of a filter than a wall. And I'm not a normie, so I push on.
I finish up the quest I was doing, accidentally hit level 11, and gain access to the talent tree system, or hero training as it's called. Now to your average degen...
So there, Raven Ghoul, what you said. You didn't get bored leveling because you were doing it with friends. I said this earlier, I'll say it again. If you and your buddies are walking down a road and you see a pile of shit, and you guys you decide to play with the pile of shit, you're probably going to have a better time than if you're trying to play with a pile of shit by yourself. Right? Your friends make it fun, not the game itself. It's very different. And I saw your message about it a few years ago, that it used to be That way, they never should have changed it. They never should have added the decade bracket system for the MSQ. It should have stayed the way it was, and they should have just made the story better.
Addict MMO gamer, this doesn't seem like much, but consider again the new player. The game is suddenly throwing a lot at you all at once with very little guidance. Just how?
Yeah. I get asked questions about this a lot. So this system, you cannot respec it. Eventually, you'll have everything in it. You'll have 100% of this stuff checked off, and then it's all on your bar, and you can select whatever you want. You know,
come on.
Picture's 1,000 words.
Oh, come on.
So if I go in here and go to training, so like eventually you get all of these filled in, and all that does is, like, for example, trap training gives me 5 different traps, and then those are now down here. They're mixed into these hotkeys. So everything you get in here is added as an option to use down here. And, you know, eventually you get all these unlocked, and then you can swap between these on the fly anytime you wish. But I've had new players come to me and be like, hey, I started with trap training and I want to try marksman. And I'm like, you're just going to have to get more points. So you cannot
I've turned it on and off again very many times, P4.
Spec. You could it's just eventually you get all of them and you can choose between them. One common tip I give people is if you go into the PvP lobby, while you're in there, you are max level, even if you're not really, and you have every skill unlocked, which allows you to try things out before you get them and, you know, see what you might want to invest into first. But yeah, I think it would be good for the game if you could, like, move the points around, like respec them.
How the am I supposed to know what to pick as a new player? Or if I should even am I supposed to know what to pick as a new
Me listening to both sides of the argument so I can take and double the amount of misinformation. Oh, US politics again.
No, that's every single... That's not US politics. That's every single argument I've ever seen online.
Yeah. Or if
Wait, what the... None, I made it on source. None, I made it up myself.
Or if I should even pick anything at all, and just save up these hero points for some time later in the future when I do know what I'm doing. Oh well, I suppose I'll just pick whatever looks cool and become the local crack dealer for my community by selecting the elixir training. Now to finally focus on that main story questline. Wait. What the hell is that thing?
And once again, just like in my first impressions video, Guild Wars 2 has gone ahead and debuffed me with a severe case of ADD. And I just can't help but need to investigate the area with the floating rocks that reminds me of that one Blue Monkey movie. This is what good world design
It's true. It's true. It looks exactly like that movie.
Looks like. You can't help but want to find out what the hell is going on within a particular area. And here's where I also come across my first hero challenge and learn that I can pick up hero points throughout the world by going to specific locations or interacting with specific NPCs. Suddenly I don't feel so bad for having dumped some points into the Heisenberg tree. And that right...
Yeah, hero point challenges are all either like pick up a thing and interact with it, or kill something if it's like a mini boss.
There's a sign of well thought out game design. I was just introduced to the hero.
There's this one I remember in the human starting area where you pick up an item and you have to eat it, and if you're not paying attention, you can carry it around for like days, weeks, and not realize you have like a hero point.
I think I might have actually done that. I think I may have done that with one of the hero points.
Unclaimed in your bag because you had to eat like it was like a magic apple or something, I don't remember, but I've had that done that before.
Hero point system had a mild dilemma about spending these points and then been told by the game that it's okay to screw up and that you won't be punished as a new player for spending your points because you can always go out into the open world and find more if you need them. And I didn't need to read a single...
What? Look at this page. Why are
he found the wiki page I edited.
The Asura such bastards? Wait, the Asura are a race of diminutive little bastards who secretly dwelt below ground for thousands of years until the minions of the Great Destroyer forced them out of their underground home. Since then, they've adapted to life on the surface and quickly established themselves as a problem for everyone else on Tyria.
Not a single word of that is a lie. Not a single Guild Wars 2 player will know that that's a lie. That is not a lie. I edited that wiki page and I got away with it too.
The Asura are the one singular race among the playable races in Guild Wars 2 you should never consider playing.
So I did consider doing inspect element for that, and I'm gonna need to do that in the future because I think my IP's been like, I think I did this without a VPN on. So I think they know my IP, and I don't think I'm allowed to edit any page again. But I wanted to try and get away with it, doing it the real way. And then, yeah, I got reverted back like after 30 seconds. Luckily, I screenshotted it. So I don't think I'm allowed to edit any more pages. So if I do this, I'll have to do it through the inspect element in the future.
Character creation. Don't bother. What is this?
Also, welcome, Jay Gussie. This is the one stream you will see in 3 decades. Also, thanks.
Culture. You'll find more looking into the inside of a yogurt cup. Bro, did he make this or did someone else make this? I've never seen this page before.
Single word out of the game wiki in order to figure this out. It's simply emerged as a solution from playing the game, and there's no better way for you to—
That was very convenient of him to skip over the early life section, but only connoisseurs will understand that meme.
To explain how your game works than through emergent gameplay.
Wiki written by Bukas? Yes.
Rather than having to read a wall of text.
Alright, little diversion, glad that's over. Back to the main story quest. Wait, hold on, that's a path in the sky. Okay, look, I'll be quick this time. And before I knew it,
Jumping puzzles. He discovered JP's.
ADD instance had led to a full-blown ADHD meltdown, and I'm spending the next hour of my life trying to figure out how the f I get up there. This is another one of those things I really feel makes Guild Wars 2 special. The terrain isn't just your surrounding environment, but a challenge for you to face. Something to interact with and a puzzle to solve. It's also a great way to keep your players interested in paying—
I wonder if he ever used the Rifle 5 jump to help him traverse the terrain.
All the time. All the time. I was told also I made a mistake by trying jumping puzzles with an engineer. Apparently what you need is a mesmer. Apparently mesmers are really good with it because they've got some door or some teleport thing. Do you like or hate jumping puzzles? I personally love them, but a lot of people dislike them. I dislike them not because they exist. I dislike them because if I start doing a jumping puzzle, I'm going to spend the next 12 hours of my fucking life doing that jumping puzzle. I'm going to get obsessive over it, and I'm not going to be able to let it go until I complete it. So, I hate it, but not because of the jumping puzzle, but because of who I am as a person.
Roze, if you see this later on, there are some chunks of terrain that won't allow that, but there are some that do, and it's helpful.
Attention to their surroundings. After an embarrassingly long time, I finally realized that the leaves on the tree at the center of the ground spiral are a staircase. And suddenly, I've come across my first jumping puzzle. You know that lack of challenge that was missing from the early game combat? Well, I found out where it went. It's right here, trying to not look like an idiot because you don't know how to hit the spacebar on your keyboard without falling to your death and having to—
Yeah, there's holding forward and hitting jump makes you go a little up and really hard forward. But if you just hit jump then forward, you jump really high and go a little forward.
Yep.
So doing like a forward jump is different than going jump forward. Just like which—
That's why it's really important that they program that into the game, because those are the little details you don't notice, but somewhere in the back of your brain you pick that up, and that's what's the difference between a good game and a game that's not.
key you hit first changes the trajectory a little bit. There's also, what is it called? Double jump? Dude, I can't even do this except when I think about it. If you hit jump and dodge at the same time, you do like a, I can't even do it there. There, that's a double jump. Is if you jump and dodge at the same time, you do a super high jump.
How? Oh, jump and dodge at the same time gives you a super jump. Fuck, I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that. How the fuck did he do that? That was so high. Okay, it's also unfair that those midgets can jump that high in the first place, but what the fuck? I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that. I think that's how some people were actually getting away from me in PvP. They were like jumping up onto surfaces, and when I tried to follow them, I couldn't. What the fuck? He's in Mistlock with a low gravity. I didn't know that gravity changed in Guild Wars 2. Also, thanks for the follow, Potato Senpai. I appreciate it. He's in an area that makes you jump higher, so the effect is greater than it would be. They do it in PvP. I think you can keybind 2 buttons into one to do it. I think I'm gonna do that, Dubber. I'm probably gonna keybind, like, I'm gonna find a button that's not being used and just like auto program that in so I don't have to worry about it. I'm pretty sure other people are doing that instead of doing it the manual way. You don't need that for any of the jumping puzzles. Says you, because you have a functioning fucking brain. Okay, I need every advantage I can get when it comes to jumping puzzles. Special jump doesn't jump that high. Okay, so it's the zone he's in that's making it worse.
And if you are fighting someone in PvP that is capable of doing that well in combat, they can jump on parts of the PvP arena that other people will struggle to reach. And then it's like, well, I'm melee and I can't kill that guy because he's running on the rooftops.
Yeah, that's exactly what fucking happened to me. I couldn't get to like certain ledges that people were just standing on and beating the ever-living shit out of me from. Mostly they were necromancers doing that to me.
Restart all over again because you mistimed a jump or forgot to unbind the dodge on double tap feature that you—
Yes, that's in my new player guide. I tell everyone who watches my new player guide to unbind that. It's no good.
Movement keys have by default. Probably the worst part of these jumping puzzles is that screwing up is entirely your fault, and that's simultaneously instead of level 1 because
he did it. He did. I saw him. He used the rifle 5. He used the rifle 5. Oh, I'm so glad. I was kind of wondering if he would see me say that and be like, "Oh, mother!" But no, he
double tap feature.
Ilgi, take as much time as you need. This is going to be the hardest edit you've ever done.
That your movement keys have by default. Probably the worst part of these jumping puzzles is that screwing up is entirely your fault, and that simultaneously makes them the best part of these jumping puzzles. These challenges are an ego check because there's no one to blame but yourself when you fail. And because of that, I now fully understand why Guild Wars 2 doesn't have a larger MMO community behind it. Damn it! Luckily though, I lost my dignity.
I will say, one really cool thing, there is an item you can get in your endgame, no matter your class, called the Prototype Position Rewinder. And if you use it, and you hit the 1 key, it saves a location, and you're like, oh no, I missed my jump, and you can hit 2 and rewind. And it has...
I need that item. I need that fucking item. I really need that item.
It's a cooldown. But assuming you only move when it's cooled down, you can get through almost every jumping puzzle in the game with that item and patience.
Holy shit, I need that item.
Yeah, that's a max level item. You get that in Living World Season 4, I think.
The moment I started making YouTube videos, and so am able to complete this MMO version of those impossible platformer games.
But wait, it's not over yet. This motherfucker shows up to tell me that I've only really solved half of the jumping puzzle, much like a Minecraft YouTuber drawing in its prey with the promise of reward. I'm led to a secluded area where
What, a Minecraft YouTuber drawing in its prey is a van calling in babies?
No one can—
Yes, to his editor's note
drawing in
there.
Its prey is a van calling in babies.
Mukluk's either out of the loop or he's having a stroke right now.
Babies?
No one can hear my screams and proceed to fall to my death again and again, all to his personal amusement. My reward, should I succeed, is probably a piece of gear. His reward throughout this entire incident is my suffering. Alright, listen, I take back what I think about jumping puzzles being a fun little piece.
Yeah, Rifle 5, like I said, it works in some places, not in others.
Piece of side content. I mean, they would be if they weren't designed by Satan himself.
Yeah, fuck this jumping puzzle. This jumping puzzle hurt my soul so much.
Eventually, though,
I think someone should take him to Chalice of Tears. I think he would like that. What do y'all think? Y'all think someone should take him to Chalice of Tears?
Succeed and my suffering comes to an end.
I gotta hand it to the Guild Wars 2 devs. It was a pretty brave choice of them making these jumping puzzles so complex early on, because surely they can't get any worse than this. Alright, that's enough distractions. On to the main What the hell is this door
He recorded this during Halloween. Happy Halloween, Roze!
doing over here? That's a lot of
This just tells you how long it takes me to edit a video together.
options. I don't know,
Clock tower, please.
tower seems harmless.
No. Wait.
Yeah, that. Alright, now it really...
Remember when I said that if you have the position rewinder, with a bit of patience, you can get through almost every jumping puzzle in the game? That is one of the reasons I said almost. So that is a jumping puzzle where you're going up.
Oh, don't tell me that the fancy item that fixes jumping puzzles doesn't work there. Please don't. Oh my god.
A tower, but lava is rising beneath you. You have to stay moving and landing those jumps the whole time in order to make it through it. And if you're like, oh man, that sounds really challenging, that's not for me. Please know that a 6-year-old has done it.
Okay, okay, fine, a 6-year-old's done it. That's not impressive to me. I've seen a fucking 6-year-old play Beethoven. I've seen a little Asian kid do differential equations faster than me. That means nothing to me. I'm old and retarded. Someone being better than me doesn't mean a goddamn thing, because that's not my problem. My problem is me, not them.
Noxie, roll a few seconds of the clip, please.
Lettuce I made.
Okay, now he's just fucking styling on me. God damn it.
Okay, now wait.
Okay, no, that's not fair. A 6-year-old has teeny tiny little fine fingers. That's why we put them in factories and make them make shoes. Okay? Because they have those little delicate fine reflex fingers that they can use to do things. Okay? That's not fair. I have these fat dumbass hands here, and I fat finger the shit out of everything. Okay? It's not fair. That is not a fair comparison. Okay? Of course the 6-year-old's going to be able to do that. It's exactly why they get thrown into factories and told to make little fine detail things, because their teeny tiny fingers can do things that I can't.
Also, Loranity did it running backwards last year, and she did it once with her feet.
Oh, fuck off. Okay. No. Okay. Okay, that is still not impressive to me. And let me tell you why. That is good for them. I've seen someone beat Dark Souls on a fucking banana that was attached to an electrode. I don't... Oh, god. Okay, I'm moving on.
I think she had like a Wii balance board hooked up to the movement controls, and she had a camera showing that her hands are off the keyboard, and she did it with her feet.
It's time to get back on track. I'm 4 levels above where I should be, and I enter the Sylvari city called The Grove for the very first time. It's not much to look at. Its layout is multi-layered and confusing as all hell, but it is just about what I would expect if I were to ask a bunch of vegetables to construct a city for me. Now, some of the less progressive members of the MMO community might put this down to the Sylvari having a lack of schools or any kind of formal education, but I can promise you that the cause of our suffering is purely socioeconomic in nature, and entirely the fault of the Asuran elite who keep kidnapping.
Malomedes was unfortunate enough to be the first Sylvari to meet with another race, the Asura. Hey, Lamal. Yeah, in the story, so the Asura, just like, you know, any race in the game, have good guys and bad guys. And the first Asura that the Sylvari ever met was basically a evil mastermind psychopath. And he experimented on them. So the Sylvari were like, okay, well, cowabunga it is, and they were ready to go to war. And the other Asura were like, yo, he doesn't speak for us. And they
listen to this fucking Asura apologist here. Listen to him speak, defending torture. I thought he was PG friendly, but apparently torture's fine when it's not your race. Quote, Mukluk, 2024.
The Asura and the Sylvari teamed up in one of the newbie areas. This is literally a newbie story to fight this guy. But yeah, a lot of them got tortured, a lot.
Kidnapping all of our mathematicians. So after getting sidetracked a few more times, I finally worked my way towards the storyline quest I said I'd have a laser-like focus on
like 5 hours ago?
Hours ago. At this level, I'm still an unkillable god of destruction, and the Lettuce Knight was also dumb enough to bring a knife to a gunfight. Aside from that, I'd be lying to you if I said I remembered much of the early game story aside from a sweet potato that forgot how to wear pants. And also rescuing some guy whose foolproof plan to defeat the guy in invincible leaf armor is to hit him with a hammer. I also learned that our arch nemesis, the Salad Man, is part of a rival gang in our corner of the produce supermarket aisle that prefers the color purple to green. Look, there's not much explaining that needs to be done here. They're kind of the edgy reflection of our own faction. You can tell by their name, the spikes on the armor, and the fact that they're probably still listening to Evanescence to this day. But as we continue down this quest line, something begins to dawn on me. Do you know how I can tell that something's missing from the story of Guild Wars 2 here? I don't remember the name of a single plant person that we've come across so far. The only exception to that rule is
genuinely, when I was editing this video together, I had to change this chunk of my script because I seriously couldn't remember the name of any of the Sylvari. Not a single one of them. I had to actually go through like gigabytes of footage to actually find out what their names were because I couldn't remember a single one of them.
There's probably Kale over here, and I remember her because the game's told me her name over and over again through repetition more than anything else. The problem with the main story quest line up to this point is that it's given me very little reason to care on a personal level, because none of what's really happened so far necessitates the involvement of my character at all, aside from once upon a time having a dream about fighting the green M&M because that's what I chose in the character creation screen. It's like being the eternal third wheel in a relationship.
I have no idea what that clip is from.
Tell enjoyer. Cool shit is happening around you.
Noxy, let's just cut this entire part out.
Oh, look, come on! Oh, come on! You cut out the best part of the video! Also, thanks for the follow, Ezra. Come on! He removed the Sneeko chair from the video, goddammit.
I do understand that Guild Wars 2 is a game of multiple stories.
Like, I know it didn't show it, but you know, I know, we all know. Let's just slice out that section and just put that over there.
Lines and
that's
some
the thumbnail? No.
Are going to be more interesting than others, but a new MMO player may very well have made the exact same choices that I have and been given very little reason to care about the story or the game at all. Sure, the game's given you an overarching story to follow, but it just doesn't seem to be one of those games that thrives on early game lore. There's just nothing here that I see that would get you deeply invested into the story on an emotional level, and that's a real shame, especially when you compare it to the other components of Guild Wars 2 like the gameplay. Combat in this game feels good, controls are responsive, but the story just doesn't have that same kind of pull. As your average game lore enjoyer, it does feel like some crucial elements of telling a good, solid story that people care about are just missing at this stage.
But once we are done turning the Green Knight from a person into a memorial, we are introduced to our mom, who also just happens to be a single mother. Don't read too much into that. She's probably also picking up all those welfare checks because turns out she's also the mother of each and every single Sylvari in existence.
It's at this point in time that realization
I'm just imagining Mordramoth filling out welfare checks.
Begins to set in. My complaints about the Guild Wars 2 story at the early levels are completely invalid. I've just been looking at this from the entirely wrong perspective. And suddenly, the true, 100% accurate Guild Wars 2 Sylvari story begins to dawn on me. Oh, wait. I know I made a joke about this being like a version of the Rainforest Ghetto in the beginning of this video, but are you meaning to tell me I just endorsed and protected the incestuous relationship of two thug shaker brothers? So we're a guy.
Noxy, I don't know yet. I don't even know what he's talking about.
I'm talking about the relationship that you have when you select the Green Knight and you go into the game and the Green Knight is in the tree. He's in Grove Street and he beats the fuck out of two gay dudes who are ass-pounding each other, who are related to each other. And the one's like, how could you do this to my husband's butthole? That's my job. And they're like lying on the floor crying about it. And the Green Knight's like, guess what, homos? So then he beats them up. And you show up and you like break up the fight and he's like, I've got invincible leaf armor. That's why I'm leaving. When he could have just, you know, kept coming at you again and again because the guy's retarded. Yeah, that's that component of the story that I'm talking about is the two thug shaker brothers who are butt plowing each other in the beginning of the Guild Wars 2 story.
who just came back home after being imprisoned in a dream. The first thing that happened was we got handed a GAT. All we've been doing up to this point is jumping up and down to get into weird places, marking out areas that we claim as our territory, and getting paid for gunning people down. Our gang colors are green, the guys against us are purple, and we all live on... My god. This isn't Guild Wars 2. This is just San Andreas with leaves.
I didn't play San Andreas. That's why I was completely clueless there. I didn't play...
You're missing out if you haven't played San Andreas. It's the best GTA game. And I don't want to hear about GTA 4 or GTA Online. San Andreas is such a goddamn good story. There's an entire mission, an entire escort quest. Check it out.
San Andreas. Oh my god. Long-term Sims. Are these just patrons?
There you are, Dunicle. Right there. I hope you enjoyed that, Dunicle. Because you know you're my long-term simp, you goddamn Swedish twink.
Discord meme lords.
See, most people stop here at the credits. I'm interested to see if he sees that little chunk at the end that I always put in.
Money I don't deserve. Yo, he did a good job on these outro credits.
Big thank to all my subscribers, both old and new.
Yeah, he saw it.
Like that meme of Michael Jordan that just says "muck them kids."
And a special thank to those Grove Street gangsters who had the patience to wait over an entire month without giving me the drive-by treatment. This review is going to be done in parts so that you're not having to watch a 3-hour video, and if I did things the way I originally intended to, I would be...
I just gotta say, the Sawman, this motherfucker released a Guild Wars 2 video, and I saw it. And I had to redo this entire video in a completely different style because we had such similar points. Are you on NA or EU? I'm on EU.
Heavily accused of plagiarizing everything I did off of a cartoon dog.
Oh yeah, and for anyone wondering, I have finally found a date for my Twitch speedrun ban that I promised to do a century ago.
It'll be happening on the 20th.
I've seen that video on his channel. He did.
He's not self-aware enough to know exactly where he paused. He doesn't know where he paused. Oh, that's perfect. I'm so glad he paused there.
Do a like 12-hour stream where he just was breaking Twitch rules the entire time to get banned as fast as possible. And it was long enough ago that he has since been unbanned.
He still hasn't realized this whole time. He hasn't realized. I think Noxy missed this as well.
Banned and is now streaming normally, but he has the whole...
But no, this is on the regular web. This is just out there. There are like sex offenders registry lists everywhere.
Whole thing recorded on his channel.
28th of January, and I'll be dual streaming it over to Kick because I have a real feeling that I'm gonna get banned before I get to do all the things I want to on stream. Still picking a time though, so look out for that announcement in the future. But anyway,
it took me so long to get that stream together, that speedrun ban that I broke everything with.
Way more content soon. Happy New Year.
Oh, come on. You censored the word fucked up this deep in a video? God damn it.
Bye.
It's poor man.
Roze, well done. Well done. That was hilarious. My cheeks hurt from laughing. Okay. Alright. Again, that was Why Does Everyone Hate the Guild Wars 2 Leveling Experience 1 through 80 Part 1. And I know there is a Part 2, which came out today, which has me looking horrified in it. I have not seen this one yet. We'll get to that one next time. But it was this coming out that made me finally was like, all right, I need to finally watch the second one. So this is something to look forward to. Yes, Insight, Fear, and local streamers today.
So at some point, he's going to react. Okay, so this is how this is going to go. Let me find the point in the video. So this screen is very important because this is called farming content like a piece of shit. right? So he reacted to me, I reacted to him reacting to me. Then he reacted to me reacting to him. And now I'm reacting to him, reacting to me, reacting to him, and reacting to me. Now he's going to go on to the part 2 video at some point. And the chain of this is going to be so fucking long by the end of this that this video is going to be like 3 pixels wide. No one is going to be able to see what the fuck is going on. And you're just going to see a chain going into infinity. It's like, you know, when you put 2 mirrors together and the reflections create like an infinity mirror? That's exactly what the fuck is going on here.